Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Collecting is Fun, where I show you that collecting is fun. And today I'm going to review a figure that I think more people need to be talking about because I think this is a cool looking figure and it's a cool look for this particular character. Throughout the years, we have not seen this character look like this at all, anywhere close to it. So we're going to get into that. So today is going to be the Turtles of Grayskull, Splinter Skull, Spiritual Sensei, Master Splinter. All right. Let me just pan out just a little bit so you can see that right there. All right. It's a Build-A-Figure. You can build Metal Bato. I am not interested in that at all. But let me tell you right now, I am a Turtle fan. I am a big Turtle fan. Turtles came out in 87. And those of us who were born in the 80s before that, it's like Turtles were made for us. And we flocked to Turtles like nobody's business. That's me. I am all about the Turtles. Now, I have quite a bit, quite a good collection of Turtle stuff. I don't have a lot, like every bit of Turtle figures or all the Turtle figures that have come out. I don't have all of them. It's like there are a lot of NECA stuff that I don't have. The comic book versions, I don't have that much of them at all. I do have the Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird first initial draft figures that they came out. You can find still at Target right now, where they have the nice little diorama for all four Turtles. They recently came out with the black and white NECA versions where it had the two Turtles that Kevin Eastman were trying to see where they're going to go with the Turtles. Now, I don't have all of that, but I do have the 90s movie Turtles. I was so happy to find those. That's like a grail for me. And I have the Last Ronin ones and some other ones. I got the Mech Turtles. I'm waiting for Donatello to come out by Heat Boys. I might do a review on one of those. But anyway, I've had that. Throughout the years, I've gotten like the 80s versions, the 2003 versions, put some respect on that, 2012 versions, and so forth. But my point is that Turtles have been around for so long that they have crossed over, and Turtles have been weird anyway. They do this all the time. But they have crossed over with so many different properties. Like, as you can see, it's He-Man and Turtles together. That's kind of crazy. That's weird. But in some ways, it does work. Like, for instance, we've got, take this out real quick. We've got part of that line. I like Man-at-Arms. So, there we go. We got Man-at-Arms. Got his own thing. Weapons Master in a half shell. Pretty cool. I don't know when I'm going to open that one. Then we've got Leonardo, who is my favorite turtle. Out of everybody, Leonardo is my favorite. Like, when I played the game, Leonardo was the last person I played with because I thought saving the best for last. That was just me. And they actually have a Stealth Ninja version I just saw on Target. I'm like, I don't need to get two of these. So this one is fine. I don't need to get that much into the Turtles of Grayskull line. But like I said, I didn't buy that many. But I also got Donatello. Donatello is my second favorite. So when I played the arcade game, I would start with Raphael. No offense, I love all of them, but that's just my preference. I started with Raphael because he had the shortest reach, and so I will see as far as I can go with him. Michelangelo after that, then Donatello, and then I saved the best for last for Leonardo, and that's just how I am right now. But I love Leonardo and Donatello, so I thought if I was going to get anybody, it was going to be Leonardo and Donnie. I don't have to get all four, but that's just me. And that's just me, how I do it. I collect the way I feel, not just to complete a certain line. So with this Master Splinter, I thought this is so cool when I saw him. I mean, it's a mixture of him and King Grayskull. Like, that is it's such a fitting look for him. So let's take a look at the packaging, You got him dressed up in his typical, what is that? Purple, it's not purple, it's burgundy. It's a different shade of burgundy. Red, it's a burgundy, I think, look for Master Splinter. What that cloth that he usually wears. It's not all the way purple, it's not red, it's something like that. Not maroon, but whatever. Then you got this right here to build Metal Bottle. That's it. Everything else is his. The sword is his, the cape, cloak, whatever. The shield is his. and so forth. Let's take a look at the back. In case you don't know anything about this, there's that right there. You got Casey Jones back there. You got April as the sorceress. The Turtles. Then you got He-Man right there with his hand on He-Man's shoulder. So let's take a look and read this. You can pause it if you want to, but I'm going to read it. After the Turtles vanished, Master Splinter entered a deep meditation. Time and space faded away. When he heard from them from far away, Splinter let go of all attachment to his physical form and followed their calling. It took time to the first planet of the universe. It took him to the first planet of the universe, Eternia, where he suddenly appeared at Castle Grayskull as the spiritual embodiment of power of Grayskull itself. Yeah, I think they all have some type of backstory, something like that. Matter of fact, yeah, let's go to Man-at-Arms. See, with He-Man missing, see there? Turtles missing, He-Man missing. Man-at-Arms knows all of Eternia is vulnerable to Skeletor's nefarious schemes. Fortunately, he meets the 4 heroic brothers, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Together, they can save the universe. So, and then it includes the comic book on this one. It's back there behind him. This one did not include the comic book. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and open this thing, and I'm going to show you all the different features that come, accessories, that is, that come. Actually, no, the comic book is in the back. I don't know when I'm going to read that. But we're going to go ahead and open this up. One moment. Yo. Pause, baby. All right, so here we are with Splinter outside of the box. Now you see he has his nice little gray skull, King Grayskull, cloak, cape, whatever. It's got the nice tattered edges, like he's been through some things, so forth and so on. You just got one hand, just one hand. I don't know why they only gave him one hand, but he's got the typical rat clawing hand. It's not going to hold a weapon. It's just going to claw at you. That's what rats do. They claw, I guess. Then you've got the shield that goes on his back, which is kind of interesting. When I first opened this up, I was trying to figure out, okay, exactly what to do with the shield. And these little parts right here, I have not figured out what it can do with this. I guess you can put certain accessories in the shell. Like, that's weird. That's something that I might be able to play around with later on or something. I don't know. But it's plugged into his back. You can also have him hold it, which is kind of cool to have him hold. It's kind of weird also because this right here goes right on his wrist, so it doesn't like fit all the way on his wrist. You can kind of squeeze it in there, I guess. It's another one. I'll try that out maybe on this video here. Then you got his weapon, his spear, which actually can come apart. So you have this like that, so you can hold it just like that. And then you can hold it as a long spear, which is, all right, pretty cool, right? Usually he has the little stick. Splinter always has the little walking stick or whatever, and then he'll surprise you with his skills afterwards, because he's supposed to be an unassuming character, which leads me to my point about how Splinter has been shown throughout all the years. This is what got me interested into this figure, because you have never seen Splinter look this jacked. And I'm not saying that he has to look this jacked at all, any iteration of Splinter. But every time we've seen Splinter, he's been that, unassuming looking old master, like he's Pai Mei from Kill Bill 2, and all of a sudden now he has some amazing skills. So in the 80s series, he was just that little rat with, not much, in just a small frame, but he was able to do a whole lot, like Yoda. Okay, cool, that worked for that time. Then 2003, I think it was the same. I forgot exactly how he looked in 2003. 2012, he had the nice slender look, which made me think of Pai Mei. Then let's see, you got the, that Michael Bay mess, which came out before the 2012 version, but that Michael Bay mess, that junk right there had Splinter, just looking kind of cool. And then what really shocked me is that in that scene where he first met Shredder, he was about to throw freaking down. That first little bit of that fight scene, he was like doing some nice cool moves, like doing a little move where he was not looking at him but deflecting everything that Shredder was doing. That was tight. And then after that, Splinter got his behind whooped. And how many times have we seen that in the movies? At least twice. Because in the first movie, the live action 90s movie done by Jim Henson, brilliant. What happened to Splinter? Splinter was getting smacked around and stuff. Like, man, when is Splinter going to show his stuff and whoop Shredder's behind? What happened at the end of the movie? All he did was flip him over on the edge of the building, and then that's it. I'm like, man, I wanted better justice for Splinter. Like, I wanted this man to flip off something, kick him in the face, hurricane kick, something. Show that this guy knows ninjutsu. But we never saw that in the movie. And in the Michael Bay joint, we saw that, but he got whooped again. Like, what? Why? So this physique right here it may be a little too much, but it's still cool. I think that any other iteration of Splinter, like the next one, because right now in the movies we have the Tales of Turtles, or the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then we have the Mutant Mayhem movie where he's just, he doesn't look like he knows any bit of martial arts. Doesn't look like it. He may grow, like they're all growing, but he doesn't look like it. And then, of course, in that Rise mess, he was a fat rat. That pissed me off. What the heck was that about? I think at some point in time, we should show Splinter with a physique that shows athleticism. It doesn't have to be big. He doesn't have to show like all these muscles. He doesn't have to be rippling or what have you. No, just give us like an athletic build. Like maybe one day, he's training, got through training or whatever. Splinter's been through a whole lot, so his stuff is tattered and stuff. So he's like changing his cloth or getting out the shower or something or whatever. And you see his back may have some scars on it, but then also you see that the scars are on top of some muscles. Something like that. Or all of a sudden you see the glimpse of his calf muscle while he's training with his students, the Turtles. They're like, yo, Splinter got calf muscles. All of a sudden he's doing something, like maybe just having fun with the Turtles, and he does like a arm wrestling competition with them. And yo, Splinter's been doing some dips, something like that. Anything. Just give us a different Splinter. I mean, we've had different versions of the Turtles for so long. I mean, different versions of the Turtles throughout the years. And why not just go ahead and do the same thing with Splinter? Give him a different look. So this one, I really went to this one because that's how I'd like the way him to look. Or I thought it was a cool look, cool idea. But the articulation is, this is done by Mattel. The articulation is the way it's nothing to write home about. You can, of course, go all the way around if you want to do something like that. You can go all the way up, which is great. So you can, lift up the spear, like, yo, throw out the signal, like he's throwing up a hat and at the, I'm not going to say that. But anyway, he's got, let me see. He's got good articulation with his head. He can look up, pretty nice. Look at that. And then you can look down, pretty nice. That's nice. He's got the nice blue glowing eyes. He's got the braided hair right there with the nice little He-Man insignia there. This is where you can put that shield. Just going to do that real quick. See if it doesn't interrupt the hair. Booyah. So that looks kind of cool too. And then, of course, you've got this, of course, that can fit into his hand. And I probably should do this later because it took a minute to get this into his hand. It really did. It's kind of tight, as you can see. And then you got to force it in there. But it can do that. I'll do that later on before I finish the video. Then also, let's see. I think you can take this off. Let me see. You can, I'm not even going to try to take the arms off, but here it is. You can take this off. You can take this off, and I believe, let me see. You cannot take his clothes off, but you can take this off, and he can have that typical Splinter look that you would normally see, except for this belt. So I'm not sure why that would be. I'm not even going to try to do that because that would probably involve taking the head off. I don't want to do all that. Look, I'll just keep it the way it is. It is the way it is. All right. But the more interesting part is this. Put this on and bam. Now you got Splinter, Grayskull, and look how tight he looks. You can't tell me that doesn't look like a cool figure right there. I know this. I know Turtles have crossed over with a lot of stuff. I know they have crossed over with, Ghostbusters. A guy yesterday showed me a picture of his collection of the Turtles crossing over with Ghostbusters. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm like, nah, I am not really into that. Nah, I'm good with that. And then, they crossed over with, of course, this. They crossed over with Cobra Kai. I got those. Right? They crossed over with Stranger Things. That's weird. Stranger Things. Like, what does that? Why would you cross over with Stranger Things? But they came out with that, and the packs were expensive too. Like, But I was glad I was able to find one on clearance at Walmart, and it's exactly what I wanted. I was like, okay, cool, because I wanted a civilian character, so I got the black kid that was packed with Donatello, and that's the only one I got. I didn't care about getting nothing else because I didn't follow the show that much, so it was just it was perfect the way it was. Just getting that, but you see, they crossed over with a lot of stuff, right? And they partnered with Batman, the DC universe. Some of the stuff is weird, and I was talking to another friend of mine, and she was like, "Man, just leave my Turtles alone. Don't have them cross over with nothing. Don't ruin my memory. Don't ruin my childhood. Let them stay as Turtles, not doing all that stuff." But Turtles, if you saw the show, they were dealing with everything. They spoofed almost everybody, because Turtles is a spoof off Daredevil. You can research that yourself and find out. Seriously, find that out. But with all these different crossovers, like some of them work and some of them don't. I think that this one actually works out pretty nicely, especially with Splinter, the way he looks as a form of King Grayskull or what have you. So this right here, let's see, the kicking, of course, and this is another thing that I like because Splinter is actually able to stand. With the Playmates, the old school Playmates ones, he was just a rat. Of course, we get the aesthetic. That's how he's supposed to be, right? But he just looked like just a rat. That's it. Just a rat that couldn't do nothing. And I wanted him to have more articulation. You couldn't have him kick. He had just that little bow and arrow, maybe. And give me some more. This one right here gives you that Splinter. I think the best Splinter that I have right now is the NECA Last Ronin Splinter because of how he stands. And of course, he's supposed to be a short guy because he's a rat. But that doesn't mean he has to be short all the time or too short. Shorter than the Turtles, maybe. But let's take a look at the articulation with the legs. This, you can't go nowhere with that. Look at that. Where are you going? Where are you going? Let me take this off. Where are you going? Where are you going? Can't go nowhere. Like, why not? This is that old school articulation from the... Okay, I'm a little concerned. Why can't it go any higher? That doesn't make much sense. It's one thing if this was like kind of, maybe that's it. That's just, okay, this is just, it has to be the cloth. Because why? I'm not going to force it. It's not necessary. He's not going to be doing much anyway. It's just, and the belt doesn't move. He's got that nice little torso swivel. Got the swivel with the ankles, swivel with the knees. Oh, he's got this right here, little calf swivel. So that can, that's weird. But that can work. Okay, you can work with that. And that's it. Got the, of course, wrist swivel. And that's pretty much the articulation. Going out to the side, yeah, but you don't have, wait a minute. Do you have ankle pivot. Yeah, okay. See, now that's a different pose that you would ever see Splinter in. You never seen him in a pose like that. When's the last time you were able to get Splinter in a wide stance? When have you ever got Splinter in a wide stance? See? Stuff like that. So I think this is a cool figure. Let me go ahead and put this all the accessories on. Except there's this other thing. You got the shield on or off. You cannot have both. Putting this shield on and then trying to put this on is a fool's errand. You can't do nothing with that. He has to have that shield off or on. So like this, he's like talking, about to go out there, about to handle some business, kick some butt, take some names, and then go for pizza later. Sure. or have it on, which, I'm going to pause the video, put this on so we can have the whole gamut look. One moment, let me do that. All right, there he is. There's Splinter in his full glory. Shield, ready for battle. He's got the spear. What you want to do? I don't think you want this smoke. You don't want this smoke right here. Splinter's looking like, yo. I mean, look at his face. He's looking like, man, you don't want this smoke. You don't want this. It's not what you want, bro. It's not. And as you can see, the shell is on his hand, but I can't get it to stay over here. It doesn't like clasp on his wrist. So I don't know what that's about. No matter which hand it's on, that's how it is. Also, a great thing about this is that his tail does articulate. So if you have the cape off, let's take this junk off. Not junk, sorry. You can articulate it. It does move up, move back. So if you want him to kind of like lean back a little bit for whatever reason, it can hold him up. I've done that a few times. Something like that, whatever. You can. The tail can come off. You can pop this off. It's nothing to be concerned about. It does peg right back in there, which is very interesting. I'm just try something really quick. This is so weird. Like, what is this for? I don't know. But if it has some other meaning or some other use, I'll maybe try it out. But anyway, this right here, I think is such a cool looking figure. I saw this. I said, I got to get this. I wasn't going to get too many. As I said, I showed you what I got. I'm not getting too much more. I'm not getting any of them more. I mean, any more of them at all. At least I say that right now. I got the ones I cared about. Raph and Mikey did not interest me. Leo, Donnie, Splinter, and Man-at-Arms were the ones. April, if I see April, I'm not getting April. I mean, see, I just got myself. See, I got to catch myself. Let me just stop talking about what I'm not going to get, because April as sorceress is interesting. And just because it's interesting, I just got a question mark on me right now. So, but anyway, this here is, I believe, like I said, is a cool figure. If you see this in Target, don't be afraid to pick this thing up. I know it's a weird crossover. I know you're like, man, what else are Turtles going to do? Who else are they going to cross over with? Ghostbusters? I mean, come on. DC? Who else you going to cross? You going to cross over with Transformers, G.I. Joe next? What are you going to do? Hey, listen. I know it's a weird time, but it's also a cool time to be alive, because you get to collect some of this stuff and have it for yourself and pass it on to your generation or next generation to let them know, hey, this stuff actually did exist in case it becomes discontinued or whatever. It's a great time to be alive, great time to collect, because collecting is fun. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.